Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone who is watching. I hope you remember to wear your green today. This is my second update for the Skin is In Project Pan. This is all about skincare related items, and it was created by Amanda and Jessica of the Pantastic ladies. I have some scalp care, I have some body care, and mainly I have skincare, so let's jump on into it. The only product I have for scalp care is my Pureology Hydrate shampoo, and I'm making some pretty consistent use on this. When I brought it into the project, it was 806 grams on the dot. Last month it was 654.7 grams, and this month is weighing 587.3, which means in the past month I have used 67.4 grams, but in overall I have used 218.7 grams of product. And we are now roughly about here. So I measure this by taking the top off of it, and then where the bulk of the shampoo kind of sits on the pump, I kind of just measure it to the side of the container, and that's how I kind of guesstimate how this uses, or how much of this I've used. So far I think, like I said, it's going pretty consistently, going pretty well. I can't wait to use this one up because I do have another liter in storage that I need to get through. Why do I buy things when I don't really need them? I don't know, but it'll be nice to get through a bit of my collection, but this is definitely one that is probably going to be a staple in my hair care routine. I should say I used this 5 times since the last time I saw you, so that means I have used a total of 18 uses of this product so far. A little bit of disappointing news. I said I wasn't going to Franken this any further, but then we had a hand soap that unfortunately the pump broke on it, and I didn't know what else to do with the hand soap, so it did make its way into the product here. So I did Franken it a little bit further, but it was for good cause. I promise it wasn't like odds and sods that I was being too lazy to use up. It was more that the pump was literally broken and I didn't know what to do. So that is now in here. So this didn't have as much progress as it probably should have had. This is my Franken Castille soap that I'm trying to get into. I brought this in at 709.5 grams. Last month it was 687.1, and this month it is 614.4, so progress is still being made. I used 72.2 grams of product this past month, and I've used 95.1 gram of product overall. I did end up refilling my hand pump version that I have of this upstairs on my counter, which is basically where the bulk of the use kind of went to. But yeah, like I said, I'm slowly going through it, and both products will have to be used up in order for this to count as an empty, but we're sitting about here, so that's a long ways from now to really have to worry about. I did use this 17 times this past month for a total of 31 uses so far this project. A product that I wasn't weighing because I did have to decant it into another container. This was my Village 11 Relax Day AHA Exfoliating Body Lotion. I used this for my KP, and I had a scar as well that I was kind of using it on top of to see if I could reduce it. Spoiler alert, it didn't work, but it was worth a try. So last time I had decanted this, I had a little bit left in a container, and I'm happy to say I got 14 uses out of that container for a total of 92 uses out of this project, and it is now completely gone. I don't know why I'm going to try and show you the inside of a container here, but yeah, the black abyss, that's completely empty. Another product with slow and steady progress. This is my, what is this? Medicube Zero Pore Pad. I always forget the name of it because the label kind of started peeling off, so I ended up peeling it off because it was just kind of ignoring. It was annoying me. So I have my markings here to kind of show you that slow and steady. I used this 4 times this past month for a total of 15 uses so far in this project. When I brought it in, it was 260 grams on the dot. Last month it was 230.7 grams, and this month it is 202.8, which means I used 27.9 grams of product this past month and 57.2 grams of product overall. I did have to cut back on my uses of this because my skin started peeling from tretinoin again. It happens from time to time. I feel like a snake right now because I can just feel like all the little bits kind of starting to come off, and it's just like, ugh. It's just, if you use just a tiny little bit too much, your skin just starts peeling, and then I find if I'm doing this twice a week, it's just a little bit too much if that happens, and so I've cut this back now to just once a week. Another product that I wasn't weighing, this is my Minimalist Vitamin C, E, and Ferulic serum, and the only reason I didn't weigh it because I just kept bringing new bottles in, not really thinking, but now I'm really curious, like, how many uses do I get out of an actual bottle? I have this, I don't know if I just have this realization every time I see it, or if it's just like I really do just completely forget, but it's only 20 milliliters for the size of this product here, and it's like, that's really small for a serum. Usually you get 30 milliliters, so no wonder I'm going through it pretty quickly. So I'm just curious how many uses I actually get out of it. This one is on its last legs, like it started kind of spitting when I was using it this morning, so it makes me think that I have maybe like one use left out of it, two if I'm lucky. So what I'm going to do is count my uses, and then I'm going to start counting my uses separately for this one to see actually how much we're able to get out of it, because I'm really curious to know how many uses do I get. I brought my retinol into this project at 16.6 grams. Last month it was 12.3, and this month it is 9.5, so we're definitely slowly getting there, which means I used 2.8 grams of product this past month for a total of 7.1 grams. I used this 4 times for a total of 16 times in this project, and I did also cut back my retinol use to 1 time a week as well, just because for whatever reason it's just causing so much peeling and so much kind of like, I wouldn't call it irritation, but it's just your skin just feels a little bit sensitive. So it's just like I cut this back to 1 time a week, and then I'm using retinol, like the LL version of it, on the 2nd time of the week that I was usually doing it, to try and just kind of like get my skin back up there so I can go back to 2 times a week. So progress is being made slow and steady. We'll eventually get through this. No longer weighing my Skin 1004 Probio-Cica Bakuchiol eye cream, and that's because I did have to cut this open. I hit a huge air bubble, and then for whatever reason when I was banging it on the counter to try and get the rest of the product out, it just stuck to the sides of the packaging and wouldn't come down to the applicator. And I'm a little bit sad because I do find that I like these squeeze tube applicators better than the pot version, which unfortunately is now what I have. This is my eye cream, this is what I have left, and I feel like that's a fair amount. Like, I should still be able to get that out of the tube, but for whatever reason it just clung to the sides, like I said, and I just couldn't get it. So it's now in this container. This is how we're going to be using it up. I do prefer the tube version, but it is what it is. I did use this 61 times this past month, and I used it 88 times the previous month, which means I have a total of 149 uses so far on this eye cream. That is crazy. These things last forever. Did I weigh this as well? No, I didn't weigh this. Oh, I didn't weigh it because I decanted it. So yeah, so 149 uses. Crazy. A product I brought in last month, this is a Skin 1004 Pore Fresh Ampule. I like this because it's a mix of centella and some peptides, so it goes great in the morning with my vitamin C. And this thing is huge. It is a 100 milliliter product. When I brought this into the project, it was 235.1. I use it every single morning, and so it is now 215.1, which means I used 20 grams of product so far, and I have 30 uses on this product. I'm really enjoying this. I'm really happy that it's super huge, so it's going to last me a long time, and yeah, we're going great with this. A product I felt silly about bringing into the project. These are my Pyeongking Yule 1/3 cotton pads. When I brought them into the project, they were 28.4 grams. They're now 26.5 grams, which means I used 1.9 gram of product, and that is because I made a new version of my little toner pads that I was kind of like doing my homemade versions with. So I ran out of my mugwort versions, and so I decided to make a hyaluronic acid version this time, and I don't like it as much. The hyaluronic acid serum that I'm using, or toner I'm using I should say, is the type that kind of like dries to your skin, so if you leave it a little too long you actually have to like peel the pad off your face, and it's like, I just don't like the sensation. So the mugwort one was definitely the better way to go. So once I'm finished these, I'm definitely heading back that route. But I tried something new, and you know what? It is what it is. You gotta try things to figure out if you like them or not, right? Another product that I brought in last month, this is the Access Y New Skin Resolution Gel Mask. We were about here last time, we're about here this time, and this one here I brought in at 60.9 grams. It is now 37.1, which means I used 23.8 grams of product in 10 separate uses. I feel like I used about half of this product so far in 10 uses. It is only a kind of like small travel size version of it, which is okay because I just wanted to see if it was actually going to do what I wanted it to do, and it's working out pretty dang well for the most part. And luckily it's one of those type of ones that if a little bit of water kind of trickles down, it doesn't cause the mask to actually like start to run. It just lets the water kind of drip off of it. So that's super nice. So especially being one that I like to use in the shower. So it's actually doing great for what I wanted it to do. And even though I used up a body product, I am going to bring in one more skin product. This is the Pretty Skin 2% NMN plus PDRN Biotox Serum. This is brand new to my collection. I do believe I got this in my advent calendar last year. And so I only have one serum currently in my nighttime routine, and usually I do 2 serums at night. So I'm bringing this one in as my second serum. I'm bringing this in at 100.9 grams, and hopefully it'll work well in my routine. So that is my update for Skin Is In. I had one empty, I had one roll in, and I like to think I had some pretty good progress on the rest of the products. I definitely think that vitamin C serum is going to be gone right away. I think the gel mask might be gone by next update. And then other than that, I think we're just going to have some pretty good usage for the next update. But that's just my prediction. Anything could really happen. So check back next month and see what I am able to do. Until then, I really hope you enjoy your St. Patrick's Day. Go have a green drink of something. And like I said, make sure you remember to wear your green. You don't want those leprechauns to pinch you. So until the next one, thank you for hanging out with me. I hope the day treats you well. And yeah, bye.